there has been this issue of issuing of land title deeds. How will you come to solve the problem? Because there has been a lot of derailment in the land registry. How will you come to handle the issue? Then my second question will, how will you deal with these land demarcations? And my third question will, state the office you have been nominated for. And my last question will, what make you not to look for the appointment in Nakuru? You prefer to look for a nominee in Nyandarua. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, through the chair. Matters titling, I think, is a concern throughout the country. What I will do, given the opportunity, and which I have successfully done in Nakuru County, is to start with something we call land clinics. And this can only be successful in conjunction with the national government. We all know that land is not fully devolved, and the mandate of the county goes up to planning and surveying. If we don't engage the national government, we may find ourselves up to that position. Given an opportunity, I will immediately engage our bosses at the national level to give us an Nyandarua titling program. When we first introduced it in Nakuru, we were given a target of 100,000 titles. And because our role ended at planning and survey, we were able to push to titling, because through the National Land Commission, which is the next stage after planning and survey, and then again through the approval of the national planning authorities, and then to the titling center. Those three stages, if you have a joint assignment together, it goes very easy. So titling will start within us by first defining what is not titled, and we can only do that through the land clinics, call for documents, call for potential areas of titling, and even if we are not able to do the same or a whole of the Nyandarua County, we define areas that are of priority, make sure we close them up very fast so that we give those others. I know matches of settlement, but even land buying companies are a problem. But once they see the first bunch is out and within a short time, they'll be able to move and give information that they have been holding to themselves, making titling a success. But we don't assume that it's not a county role. We have to work very closely with the national government. In terms of land demarcation, I think the first thing I would need to understand, given the opportunity, is the land use planning as defined by the department. Is there already a document that is defining land use in Nyandarua? If it's not there, we will first define as such, so that we don't start seeing very small plot sizes in very potential areas, which would be meant better for agriculture, but now it's being defined to small plots and commercial residential land uses instead of agriculture. So I would first want to know what's our position as a Nyandarua County in terms of instruments that are already in place for land use planning. In terms of office nominated, I understand it is the office, the Department of Land, Physical Planning and Urban Development. In terms of reappointment in Nakuru County, I'm born among boys. I'm the only girl among 3 boys. My first challenge is that this appointment would call for many issues because of the political environment, which we all understand, countrywide. And I want to be very honest, because by the time we did not get the seat back as the previous government, we already knew our positions, even as officers, and especially being in contract terms. Number 2, I think I've done all I should do in Nakuru as a chief officer. Unless I was to get another seat as a chief officer, which I'm best positioned, and again, which I may not have learned for, so I would not look for it. So to be very honest, Mheshimiwa, I felt like I did what I was supposed to do in Nakuru, and given an opportunity to do something in a county that I'm married, and from my birth, you hear I'm in Nyeri, from my education and practice, I'm in Nairobi, from work, I'm in Nakuru County. So I've touched the lives of Nakuru. I would not mind touching the lives of Nyandarua, where is now my home and where I'm married. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
As late as I last checked, it was in Nyahururu, and there were plans underway to relocate it to Nyandarua.
Okay, then which effort will you try to put to make the service near to people of Nyandarua?
Of course, with the support of the assembly, because some decisions must come from the assembly. The minute you give me this opportunity, it will take me 1 week just to understand the movements, the areas of our officers, because much as is about the registry, it starts from the department, from the cleaner all the way to the CEC. So once I understand that, their positioning, their tools of trade, where their offices are, and how we should come together, synergize, and give our turnaround time the shortest time possible, then we will be able to give a very comprehensive report on any recommendations that would help us really appreciate the spirit of devolution.
Through the chairman, she has answered me well. I wish her all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dan. My vice chair here, another question.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Jane, welcome again. First of all, I would wish to congratulate you because of the awards that you are accorded, and it seems you are outstanding.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm interested to know from your past or previous experiences in Nakuru, it seems your work was good, because Nakuru became a county while you are in office.
Yes, a city.
We have, oh yeah, a city, sorry. Nakuru became a city while you were in office. In Nyandarua, we have been experiencing some RAD issues, problems, especially in acquisition. You find that a certain department requires a land for government amenities, but it doesn't forthcome easily or in short time, or the process goes very slowly. To some extent, you find that a certain regimes comes in and leaves without achieving their goals because of the laxity in that department. What new thing will you bring to Nyandarua from Nakuru that will help in solving this problem?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Through the chair, the first issue of the Nakuru city, yes, indeed, I can confess that I was really involved in the charters issuance of even other towns like Naivasha, Molo, Gilgil, and even Nakuru was first a municipality and then a city just within the term. So one thing I can say before I even respond on land acquisition is that I don't know why yet, through the chair, my issues like engineer, there are potential municipalities that should be bringing new income to Nyandarua County. I believe given an opportunity, within very few days those will be confirmed, because they will attract more investors and more issues that can benefit Nyandarua. Straight on the issue of land acquisition, let me be very frank from my experience. Sometimes honorable members can also be an issue in land acquisition, where they have preconceived issues in terms of budget and location of the land they want. Given an opportunity through the chair, I would first want to know how much land is available for public use in Nyandarua County. Must we buy land? Must we go through the whole process of procuring land? You know, in private sector, when you're doing land buying, it is buying a willing seller and a willing buyer. Unlike in a public institution or in the counties where you have to go through the thorough procurement process. So already that in itself is a challenge, even with the department. So I'll first ask myself, if it is, for example, Shamata, we want to do a school, what land is there available as public land? Why do we leave it for grabbers instead of titling it as school land for Shamata? Then instead of my MCA asking for us to go a process of buying land, we use that land. So we will do a registry or a register to show how much of public land is available in Nyandarua. And knowing that so much is a settlement scheme land, I'm sure there is so much land that we can use. And then we can reduce the time of trying to buy land and relocate that money of land purchase to land development. In terms of land banking, where we have opportunities in subdivisions, how much are we putting into our land banks in terms of how much available land is for our future and for those uses that will be defined by yourselves as honorable members. So in conjunction, I appreciate that no department will work without lands department, because whether it's a hospital or a school or even greening and upgrading these towns we want to make municipalities, they look for land maybe for playgrounds and so on. So the first thing is to quickly define how much of this land is available in the county, how quickly can we get documents to stop the grabbing, and how quickly can the MCAs put budgets to start utilizing that land. Then we shall have solved this quagmire of land acquisition through the procurement process. Otherwise, those who are in this business, you will attest that buying land as an individual and outside public sector is cheap and easy because it is willing buyer, willing seller. In our way of doing things and the procurement process, it's just like a big project, even where you have a willing seller of the land. The minute they imagine what they will go through in the county, sometimes they withdraw. Or sometimes when the lands department has started the process of land acquisition, time passes, and by the time you want to acquire and the assembly has approved, again the prices have gone up. Then you go back to zero in terms of the process. Thank you.
Question is, I can foresee a state of standoff between your office and these registrators. I believe they like being heard and maybe being consulted in decision making. So if I may ask, how will you relate with the other two arms of the government? That is the legislature and the judiciary, because that's where the quagmire lies in these land issues. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Through the chair, I think that one I have had it hands-on in the various processes of acquiring land, upgrading towns and so on. When I've been dealing with the national government, what I'm just simply assuring you, Mheshimiwa, is that I'm in good books with those arms when it comes to land issues. So we will be able to quicken. We have contacts we can build on. Like, for example, I don't think it's a secret to say that having Zach as our CS in lands is already an advantage to me, given this opportunity.
What is your relationship with Zach?
The fact that he's from Nakuru and he has seen my work hands-on, if I step into his office looking for surveyors to come and help Nyandarua, I don't think he will shy away.
Okay.
Thank you very much. This chance I give to Honorable Ibrahim, member for Murungaru Ward.
With the respect to seniority in the assembly, I have majority who want to ask first, and then he will give me.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair Whip, for allowing me to move on. Judy, one, I wish to state this. I'm glad because I've heard you. You have the command of the Queen's language, that is one. You are eloquent enough. You have the grip of what transpires within the RAD sector. And having understood that their issues may be very pertinent, because previously you were in charge of Naivasha municipality, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. You know, RAD is a very emotive issue, mostly in municipalities. Hopefully, by the time you are running the municipality, you witnessed that there are so many pertinent issues pertaining to RAD in the municipality. That is double allocation and so many other issues. I'm hoping that, you know, we have a big problem within this municipality. That is all Kalau. Are you prepared for the heat? There's a lot of heat. There is a lot of infighting. There is a lot of mess within the municipality. Are you well prepared? That is one. Two, as an expert, because I've gotten now a chance, as an expert in land economics, is it land economics or land whatever? What would be your advice, given that now the locality or jurisdiction within this municipality covers over how many square kilometers? So many square kilometers. In terms of RAD management, how would you advise? Because one, within the municipality, we have RAD for agriculture. We are also getting a lot of subdivisions within the same municipality. What's your professional advice in terms of RAD management in the context of RAD for agriculture and RAD for subdivision for investment? That is in real estate development. Lastly, the two subsequent governments which have been in office in this county, the first government and the second one, there was an issue pertaining to RAD issues within this municipality. It has been a Herculean task for the two government. They were unable to solve the issues pertaining to RAD issues within all Kalau. What's your approach? Because given that you are also a resident within this county, I'm hoping you totally understand what has been transpiring within the county in terms of RAD issues. What's your advice, or how will you approach the issue, given that the two subsequent governments have not been able to unlock the issue pertaining to RAD? Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And just like you observed, land is very emotive, and how we handle it can either go with our heads or can give a solution. So, of course, we get into this business very conscious that you have to be firm but fair. I agree that matters of Kalau are known all over, especially in terms of missing documents and the kind of allocations that either there will be a lot of fights because of double allocation. And I like your comparison of Kalau and Naivasha. And those who are well aware of Ngate in Naivasha, for the last regime, through the leadership of our former governor, and specifically Lands Department, you have never had the fights you used to hear in Ngate. We just basically adopted the land clinic process. Once you do the land clinic, it's open to everybody who has a complaint. Once you sieve the products or the produces of land clinic, you can define the points of action. For example, in Olkarau, when you say double allocation, let those double allocated or multiple allocated prove as such. By the time you go to historical information and documents, because they really exist, you will never go wrong when you go to the historical information. You'll be able to know who is the real owner. By the time you define the real owner, even those others who are not the real owners, through the process will appreciate. So you don't need to fight, you don't need to go to court and live forever with the court matters. So what we did is adoption of the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, but you can only use it after you have done the land clinic and come up with the challenges or the potential areas that you can be able to resolve. Again, like I keep mentioning, land not fully devolved. You cannot finish these things alone. So the minute you introduce land clinic, it means you're also introducing other members of authorities, like National Land Commission, who can help you settle these things very fast, who can also help you conclude your assignments, because let's be honest, maybe other governments have not concluded because they will stop at the mandate of the county. We should be able to engage also the mandate of the national government to close up these disputes. So given the opportunity, I would want to really get an opportunity to start the land clinics immediately, so that we define those areas that we can be able to close up very fast. And land is so emotive that people will even hold information that can be helpful. So if we are able to resolve just a small portion of it and assure the Wanjiko of Nyandarua that there is now a way out. Because imagine, Mheshimiwa, that the same Wanjiko would be feeling what you're feeling, that there has never been a solution. So even when you call for information or issues that can be managed, they will not bring them up. So how do we make them bring up information that can help us resolve these disputes? So I think I'm ready, because Ngate was a dying area. We lost many lives, but I can confirm once we started the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, through the land clinics, we have achieved. We were able to come up with a documentary. We were able to charge different institutes and offices to do their work. If it is a land, for example, that was sold to Kengen, we mandated Kengen, please refund the money or refund the land. So those decisions through committees, I can't do it alone. We can't do it alone as a department. We need other department. We need the ministry. We'll be able to close up Olkarau. I may not assure 100%, but even if we do 50%, then we have better words than saying that it has never happened in previous governments. In terms of integrated planning, we already have Planning Act that defines land uses. But that notwithstanding, on the ground, there are things we call regularization. Maybe land was meant for agriculture, but somebody else has put it into another use. How do we regularize? How do we make these people understand that this land is meant for agriculture and not for commercial use? And then, if you tell them as such that it is meant for agriculture, what are you telling them after farming? Have you given them roads to make sure that their produce comes to the town? Otherwise, they prefer doing the commercial thing and get rent seated there than doing the agriculture that could be more productive. So as much as we want to define and educate people on land use, we will also need to link those land uses to beneficiaries of the same. For example, I cannot plan agricultural land without agriculture department. Agriculture department cannot also assure people of agricultural land without the infrastructure department for roads, water, and so on. So the land use management issues and policies are in place. The issue is now how we put them to our people and help our people own them in a way that it can bring economic benefit, both to them and to the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have something to add?
Just a comment. I'm 100% satisfied that you know what it takes to be chief officer in charge of lands. I'm happy with your contribution. I wish you all the best, hoping to see you as the next Chief Officer in Nyandarua County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Majority Leader. We are now almost winding up, but before we wind up, I understand that you are from Shamata Ward. We have the member from there. Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I would wish to confirm that the nominee comes from my area, that is Shamata, or Borosat section, and maybe even before I congratulate her for the nomination, I would wish to thank the governor that out of all those people who had applied for the position of a chief officer of lands, that he found it fit that he will get somebody from my area, that is Shamata. And at the same time, I would wish to congratulate you and even the people of Shamata. This morning, some called me trying to request whether you've been scheduled for today, and I told them that I also attend. I'm not a member of this committee. So as I sit here, I also present your neighbors and your friends from Shamata. Maybe, Chair, if you allow me, I would also wish to thank the clerk, that is the clerkship, for allowing the great people of Shamata to access the gallery, because I can see we have a good number from my area. Thank you very much, and I look forward that going forward we shall continue treating our visitors in a very good way. My concern would be simple. That number one, once you are the chief officer, lads, you have been charged with the mandate of making sure that the projects that the county government intends to do, the project that maybe doesn't have title deeds and all that, or they are not owned by the county government, will still happen, considering whether the budget is there. For example, you might find that a certain ward, say my ward, we want to build an ECD, and that this ECD doesn't have a land, but we have budget for that land, that is to buy the land. That means the ECD cannot take off when the Department of Land have done their part of acquiring the land to be a county land. So you as a chief officer, how will you make sure that there will be that speedy procurement and ownership of the land to the county government, so that now other departments, say Department of Education, can now go on with the procurement? The other one is on Oroborosat, where you come from, and even in the Bible they say, I'm sure you remember when Jesus was leaving this world, he said, go to the disciples, go and preach the gospel and start with Jerusalem. And now that you come from Shamata, specifically Oroborosat, where we have very serious issues concerning that, and I'm sure, Chairman, we have shared this with you, and I wish to thank you, because even the issues that I had, you managed to settle. We have the issue of Oroborosat settlement scheme, where we have been having issues with the government, because there are some quotas, especially the environment and other departments, who feel that that land is a riparian land. And again, on our majority, with your permission, those people who are in that settlement, they have been there for the last 70 years. And today, some quotas from the National Lands Commission are trying to push that land does not belong to them. Yet, they have given birth to those children. Those children have their children. They have gone to school. That is the idea. You talked something about mediation. That is in your training. I would wish maybe when you get this position, please use your skills and your experience in terms of handling that issues, so that the people of Oroborosat can get their title deeds, and they will stop getting harassment from other quarters. The very last one, Mr. Chair, it's about Kirima settlement scheme, whereby, again, back to negotiation and mediation. You understand the negotiation, the Kirima settlement scheme, it's supposed to be for the community. And again, Kenya Forest Service has been claiming it as part of their land because it just borders the Ragwa Forest. So, Madam Chief, Chief Officer Rands, I would request that when you get this position, because so far, I'm sure the honorable members, in case they will sit down, they'll see to it and check on whether you're suitable for the position. If you get this position, please try to make sure that the issue of Kirima settlement scheme is settled amicably, whereby the members of the public will get the land to their side, so that the KFS, the Kenya Forest Service, will not be disturbing our people. I think that is all, and I wish you well in your voting and at the same time in the report writing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. At this juncture, we don't have enough time, but Honorable Ibra, I give you a minute.
Thank you, Chair. Next time, I want to donate my time. Sorry. I have about 3 questions. They are very quick. First is through your questionnaire. You have mentioned about Aberdare Golf Estate. Are you aware that this strategy or that project was awarded the best African award in South Africa? What happened? It did not take place. What challenges did we get? Second question, you are seeking the Chief Officer of Lands, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development. You are coming from a very developed county to a less developed county. How are you going to assist this county in the side of revenue collections in that line? Then, and the last one, you being the chief officer within this county, we have the main challenge that our Wajiko in this county can even stay almost a year without getting their title deeds in the land registries. As they listen to you, because we are live today, what's your advice or promise? How are you going to mitigate with the National Land Office, especially our land registries, so that this process can be shortened in the benefit of our employers who are ordinary Wajikos, like our Wajiko who is already in Ormagogo or Kalampton in the other side? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ibrahim. We would like to add another question from Honorable Madhu so that you'll answer all of them together.
Thank you, Chair, for giving this opportunity. And maybe it's not we are doing the interview. It's only that we are fitting the nominee after being interviewed by the board. But there is some maybe concern that we need to register to her so that given this chance being approved by this committee and the House, she will know that there is expectation that she have to meet. And first of all is to thank her for coming with a great team of charities. I see they are coming here and saying Fever Women Empowerment. So congratulations, and don't forget them. And given chance, maybe at your Thanksgiving, invite all of them. My concern are just few. I have two concerns. Maybe you have talked about these dangerous and big animal code procurement. Maybe if given, when given this opportunity, what shall you do to make that animal, maybe the horns are removed so that you can have smooth payment of those lands that we are saying that we are not able to buy as a county because they are very important to our people. Secondly, after doing the mapping of our good county of Nyandarua, we have a vast vacant idle lands. Being given this chance, one, you will be the advisor to the CCM and also to the governor. What is your take, or how will you advise the governor maybe for the use of those idle lands that we have in our county? Thank you, Chair. I'm done, and I wish her all the best as you committee. I prayed maybe you can use the experience, and maybe you have seen how she have answered all your concerns. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead now.
Thank you. Through the chair, let me attend to the 8 concerns and questions. The first one was projects, title deeds, and making sure that they still go on through my MCA. I think that one I want to reassure the concerned members of the different areas, honorable members, that if the land is there and the budget is there, I will come back. We will come back with our CEC, because your main role of oversight will also be defined by how much we can use the budget and make sure that these projects continue. So, but if there will be an issue on titling or things that must be done by the lands department, I want to assure us that I will be able to intervene, I will be able to give the correct guidance, and I will be able to knock in any relevant office that can open doors to a quick win on these projects that are already ongoing. So my boss and Mheshimiwa, be sure that concern will be addressed. In terms of Bolsot, we know that anything settlement schemes is just about knocking the doors of settlement offices. So be sure I will do that. I have done that in Nakuru County. We were able to work very closely with KISIP, that is the Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Program, and they are very particular on settlement schemes. We had 6 centers or settlement scheme benefit from KISIP. If we can have ourselves align with KISIP, we can solve these problems of settlement schemes, not just at the point of security of tenure. They have 4 components. The minute they give the titles, they are able to move to the next component of infrastructure, they are able to move to the next of youth empowerment. So I think we need to put our shoes on and be where we are supposed to be. Let's agree that land is not fully devolved, and let's work with those we need to work with. If we can be able to, this is a World Bank project. In fact, they do so well in mediation and dispute resolution, and they are not obstructed by any officer, being a World Bank fund. So I will, through the chair of this committee, look into how we get into KISIP very fast and give our whole list of settlement scheme if it's not already done. Because I remember late last year, they went around all the counties looking for all settlement schemes within the counties for that assistance. That will definitely solve our Kirema and any other settlement within the county. But I'll be careful to start from the home. In terms of Aberdare Hills Golf Resort, Naivasha, Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for acknowledging that we were rated the best. It was under my leadership. I did the write-up. It is one of the publications that went world over and positioned us as the best world golf. In fact, we were at a stage where we were doing the golf circuit, and we wanted to upgrade thicker greens and others to make sure that the world golfers can come to Kenya. That's how we positioned Naivasha through Aberdare Hills Golf Resort. Unfortunately, there was a problem on planning succession. You have a vision, I can say, my boss had a vision, the late Dr. Pritam, may his soul rest in peace, but there was nobody to succeed his dream. It was too big for any shoe. NIC Bank is trying because he had a loan with them, and they are taking up land that was not already sold. I hope they will be able to revive the same. I can confess they have been consulting me, and I've been sharing what we had seen then. But his shoe was too big, he had not prepared for succession. In terms of CEO Nakuru and now CEO Nyandarua, like I observed in my introduction, I had done quite much in Nakuru. I see a need and a gap in my home county. So as I come here, I come knowing that the size in terms of acreage may be smaller because it's about 3,700 kilometers against 7.6 in Nakuru. But I know there is more to do. And you see, where there is more to do, the little or the more you do will be felt. So I come conscious about that and leaving a legacy. I'm a believer of legacy. And that has come through my parents. And that as I finish, I'll introduce them because they are with me today. I believe, like you have mentioned, Aberdare Hills, that's my legacy. If you go through all the companies I've worked for, Regent Management, our Mheshimiwa Kulei can tell you I left a legacy, and so on and so on. So even in Nyandarua, it's not about another term or terms. It's about the few years you give me, I leave a legacy. So what I'll be able to solve as a CEO of Nyandarua, I will solve and leave a legacy. In terms of revenue collection, I said corruption is the problem. If I'm able to have issues solved on corruption, we will make sure that income gets into the county at the right time. Some of the issues I said maybe digitalization. Others would be looking at areas that are taking too much time and therefore introduce a service charter if it's not there. And if it's there, make sure that it is being implemented to the letter. Once you have short timelines in implementation, then you curb corruption and you can be able to get the income you're looking at. In terms of land use and compatibility, I believe the integrated development plans, I believe the county spatial plan is also in place. I'll look at them. And if they are not there, we will make sure they are there at the right time and the right place. And then we will be able to work with my sister departments. Land use, you must work with your sister departments for the different uses. And then make sure that we provide what it needs as a department in terms of advisory and documents so that these departments move. But like I said also, as leaders of the different areas, and for Wanjiko, for example, if we define an area agricultural, please also help us open that area in terms of infrastructure, water, and so on. In terms of titling, like I mentioned earlier, if we bring in KISIP, if we have a budget, I've not seen the budget of Nyandarua in terms of land titling or land planning and survey, fair enough, we will be able to move it very fast. If it's not there, we'll be able to even request for a budget that we may have consultants. I can confirm that within the last 1 year, we were able to do 29 centers in Nakuru. Regularizing people built, they are dying, they are living for their children matters instead of land, but we were able to get a budget, do outside consultancy, and close up within 6 months and get people have their titles. So that, like you said, if the Wanjiko who are watching me, I can confirm without fear of contradiction that with teamwork, with support from this assembly and my chair, especially of this committee, we will be able to solve the titling problem in Nyandarua, because we will be able to link up with the national government offices that can move us fast. And the goodness of land clinic through the chair and my chair, if we get land clinic, we get officers from the national government, so there is no gap. We will be able to move. So I think I have attended to number 6. Number 7 was an expectation on procurement. Again, where there is teamwork, where there is synergy, you can be able to sort that. I will be able to understand in Nakuru we were using a centralized system in terms of procurement. So of course, whether centralized or decentralized, it matters your relationship again with the officer there. In terms of timelines, he also has a lot, but as a CEO of lands, I'll make sure that he puts lands as a priority, being a defining factor of all other departments and their programs. In terms of idle land, I think, like I said, we need to do our study. We need to define the idle land. We need to get ourselves with my sister departments on this idle land. Is it documented? Is it county land? Is it just lying idle for no purpose? Is it land that maybe even somebody passed on and never looked for renewal of their leases, and it's just depending on case to case of these idle lands, we will be able to give the necessary advice, both in terms of planning and the best way it can be put into the highest and best use, both for the department and the county at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our time is up, but Honorable Naomi has to say something.
Thank you, Chair. Physical planning is one of the key aspects in urban development. You are in Nakuru County, and I believe you did a very good job. That is why Nakuru has been turned into a city, because of the proper planning of its capital and the whole county. And my question is, how will you bring those skills on board and ensure that the major towns and the major centers, especially our capital, which is Olkalau, is properly planned so that we can utilize the land that is available and ensure that we grow it and we grow Nyandarua County?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Through the chair, the Physical Planning and Land Use Act, which was reviewed 2018, it followed to the letter define our towns. Why? Because it has put in place all the requirements. And like I said, lands department has a lot of laxity. Let me be honest. Where I was, I don't know how this will be here. Given an opportunity, I said the first week will just be a study of what happens with our planners, what happens with the implementation of policies and facts that are already in place. Specifically, Olkalau, now that it is the eye and the center, and it should define Nyandarua, now that we don't have Nyahururu and we'll never get it anyway. I think the first thing, the other day I had in the news a complaint on railway land that was just demolished and left and unutilized, attracting insecurity and so on. So these are the areas we need to map and define as soon as possible. I'm sure there is a planner designated for Olkalau. So once I sit with them, quickly I'll be able to pick up areas that have either been recorded because we are very good in writing and putting in our books, but not implementing on the ground. Pick up issues that can be of priority. Normally I like working with a priority of 10 items within a given period. Once we are done, we move to the next. If we can be able to plan, for example, Olkalau town, it gives hope in all other towns that there is a team working and can be able to move with speed. So I think I'll just need to understand exactly as it is where it is, then I'll be able to redefine any challenge, any opportunity, any threat, and we'll be able to make sure that we are well planned, both to look like a municipality, and why not in future as a city? Why not? So when you see me here, those terms of municipalities, cities, titling, please get used. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Dan, you have something to add on that?
Maybe just one more question. Okay, can you try to explain us how much do you understand about this affordable houses project?
Thank you. I realize in Nyandarua, housing is not part of this department through the chair, but affordable housing is the way to go today. We know it's one of the big agendas. And what I know is that if you have land as a county, you can either go through the PP, that is a private-public partnership, like we have done in Naivasha, or you can get the national government through the housing department that has now gone back to lands department, to the Ministry of Lands. If you have a title to that land, do a proposal or a feasibility study, present it to the PS housing, and then we can get an opportunity to start getting this affordable housing within our county. And now that affordable housing may not be in our department directly, we'll be able to work with our sister department roads who are in charge of housing in Nyandarua, and we'll be able to share our experience of what we achieved at Bodeni Housing Project in Nakuru and what we expected to achieve from the PP partnership of affordable housing in Naivasha. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll give you about 3-4 minutes. You tell us, why do you think you are the most qualified for this job?
Thank you, Chair.
Before Madam Jane answers, I would like her to answer this question together with another one. Having your vast experience in land issues, where do you see, if you get this chance, where do you see Nyandarua in the next 5 years regarding to land issues? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mheshimiwa. You labeled me Jane. I'm Judilea.
Judy. Jane is my sister, that's why.
Thank you. In terms of where Nyandarua would be if I were given this opportunity, I can confirm if the same county gala awards come to assessors, we'll be number 1. If I was able to handle Nakuru, despite the many challenges, I believe even Nyandarua we can handle the same, and we can be able as a committee and the department to shine and still be number 1 in the county awards in terms of land department. In terms of why me, Chairman, I think my vast experience, the many people around me right now can attest to my work, and also my passion for what I do. Despite land being very emotive, I'm very fair and firm. I have a passion of what I do, and I am less micromanaged. I can work on my own. I'm a team player, and above all, I have a track record of many legacies, both in public and private sector. And that's why I'm not even ashamed to have my parents here, my husband here, my chama here, because I want them to also own my words when we sit back after the term, given the opportunity, as we remind ourselves where we have come from and where we will be going. Thank you.
Maybe, Chair, just a small request. Just in case you get this position, the issue of registry that was mentioned by Honorable from Gatimo, you understand Nyandarua is one of the biggest counties. And when you move the registry to Olokarau, that will still disadvantage some of us who have been enjoying the small distance from Daragwa to Nyaururu. So our request was that as much as you move the registry to Olokarau, please lobby, try to make sure that there is an office that is left at Nyaururu, so that the people of Daragwa and maybe part of Jorok can still enjoy the services from a small short distance, maybe as we move on to Kinangop. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that is well noted, Mheshimiwa, and we will look at the pros and cons of the same in terms of what the national government will perceive that to be to us when we partially show them that we are not ready for a full registry. So I may not have a direct answer right now, Mheshimiwa, but I take that concern, and as I interact with them, I'll be able to to, in fact, I see even when we do the land clinics, even Gil does not have a registry. But when we are doing the land clinics, we create an office within our department for them, for that season and for that assignment. So I believe when we have a huge assignment, let's say in Olkarau or in any other sub-county, we can be able to move the registry there for a period. I have seen it work. Thank you.
And thank you. We are going on very well. For the purposes of recording, we have received some recommendation here. One from Naivasha Partners for Church, NEPAC, CBO. Another one from Naivasha Gender-Based Violence Networking, Cluster. Another one from Nakuru County Public Opinion Consultative Initiative. And another from Naivasha Profession Association. These are 4. Another one came very late. This is not for record. And now we come to the end of it. We now give you a chance to give our closing remarks.
Thank you. As I close, first is to appreciate all those who took their time, those above there, and especially my parents all the way from Nyeri to come and witness this. They were also able to witness the Nakuru one, so I know they'll give me a word after this. That is Mr. Waihenya and Mrs. Waihenya. They are teachers by profession, so you can imagine the discipline in me. And my husband and every other team player I can see above there. To honorable members, thank you very much for the opportunity. I believe I have proved that I can do it, and I promise I will do it. But above all, I want to say that if you give me an opportunity to serve this great county of Nyandarua, we will have a legacy to smile together at the end of this term. Because what I believe in is achieving within the term given. And then we will have an opportunity to tell our Wanjiku and many others, please give us another chance. So that's said and done. God bless you. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much. Confirm whether your documents are all there. Then I invite Shamata member of contest. Are they all there?
Yeah, there.
Then I invite my vice chair to escort you with one crack. And Honorable Ibrahim, you can accompany them for a cup of tea there upstairs.